Hey there everyone, this is Jeffrey with Killaskila Gaming, and welcome back to Crime Scene Cleaner. Previously, we took a job, our first job, from a friend Tyler, I think it was, and he had allegedly killed somebody in self-defense, and then we ended up finding out that the person he had killed is a serial killer. In the end, we ended up getting the attention of somebody higher up in the crime world, and they weren't displeased with our work. So let's jump back in and see where that leaves us. Okay, find your phone.
My name is Jim. Big Jim.
That's the name.
The dead guy in your trunk, Rob, used to push the product for me. He had this freaky hobby, and I was looking to cut ties anyway, so no sweat. But I have to say, I'm impressed by what she did in his apartment. That shit'll never look better. So, here's the deal. You either stop cleaning for me, or I'll have someone else wiping your blood off my shoes. Sounds fair?
Going from underpaid janitor to working for the biggest crime boss in the city? Talk about overnight success.
Accept mission. Okay. Yeah, and it said something about having to accept the mission, so...
How are you doing, Dexter? Did you know Daddy started a criminal career?
I kind of love that. We feed the puppo? Wait, what's this? Some kind of puzzle story? Something for later, I suppose. Apparently there are secrets in this game, and I missed them. So, I'll definitely be planning a second playthrough. At some point. Okay. Okay, Alina, the clinic is not that bad. Hi, Dad. I know you are busy working, but I wanted to let you know how I'm doing. It's still weird living without you, but I'm slowly getting used to this place. We have normal classes, there are other kids my age, and some of them are really nice. I think they even want to be friends. I guess it's not as bad as I thought, but I really miss you. Yeah, I hope I can see you soon. Say hi to Dexter from me. Love you. Okay, so Lena does not live with us anymore. It looked like she was still living with us. There's a hospital bed in her room. Mr. Kowalski, your application for a loan was rejected. Sadly, with your current janitor's salary, you don't qualify for any of our offers. Wishing you all the best, Leon and Loan Master. Big Jim. So this is the guy who just called us. Would you clean up a crime scene illegally for $7,500? Think about that. The job you did at Rob's was commendable. I got a trial task for you, and later a real job. Remember, working for me means high pay, but I demand loyalty. Now let's get down to business. Take all the supplies you need and head to Mike's Wellness Center. Mike's my cousin, by the way. If you prove yourself, I'll reward you handsomely. Okay, so we got body count, which previously the body count actually increased somewhere in that once we discovered there was more there than what meets the eye, so I guess we can't really trust that. I'm assuming location, size, and payment are going to be pretty much, you know, we know the size of the place going in, I guess, so let's accept. Please let me know in the comments. Would you take up a job like this for $7,500? What would be the amount that you would have to be paid to cross a line like this? I don't know if I want to know that, actually. Maybe don't put that in the comments. There are things we don't need to know about each other, right? just doesn't seem like enough money to go for that kind of risk. One thing I should probably check before we leave is, can we do anything with the skill tree? I think let's start with the basics and work our way up. I think the pressure washer could be nice, but the main thing I'm thinking of is how long the mop and all that works. And then maybe like the tracks we leave behind. I like both of these. Cleaning speed. Let's just go with all these basic ones. Do I have to pick one or the other? I don't know which one's going to end up being worse in the end. Yeah, let's go with that. That's basic. Okay. I'll probably edit some of this out and try to just show you the stuff that I select. Bittersweet Symphony. What are the skins? Stuff I have to unlock. I wonder if that's where the secrets and such come in. That call. Trial by blood. I think trial by blood's what we want. Yeah. A powerful mob boss, Big Jim, wants me to prove my worth before hiring me. It seems that a spa called Miko's Wellness Center needs some cleaning. So yeah. Trial by blood.
It'll be a long night. Big Jim. The man you never want to mess up with. Or even know in the first place. To kill his own family like this. His name will haunt me until my grave.
Mr. Cleaner, are you there?
Oh.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Kowalski. I'm now taking charge of this place as an inheritance from my cousin, so my schedule is pretty tight. However, you can take your time while dealing with his body and this whole mess.
Thanks. I'm getting down to work.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay, so this is our setup. So, since obviously we can't take our truck up here, we'll use this for bodies, and I think the bodies go in here, and the garbage, I'm not sure. History magazine.
It won't budge. I have to go around.
I need a place where I can set up my stuff. There we go. A lamp can be invaluable in some dark rooms where it's hard to see every detail. You can place it on the floor and turn it on to provide a strong light, illuminating nearby areas without a need to constantly operate it. Okay. I suppose it's just gonna stay here. That never happened, right? Oh my god. I'm gonna run out of soap, right? Okay, how do I... Oh my god, no! Oh, that's how we're gonna start, hey? Oh yeah, we got a mess here. Let's get started. And we don't want to break stuff, right? I was thinking after the previous episode, I was talking kind of about my experience working with blood. And with us going into... With that being kind of the biggest thing that we're generally taking care of, I thought maybe I should... Ooh, steel. Should talk a little bit more about my background in other ways where I would foresee problems. Lockers, hey? And what I'm essentially referring to is DNA. It is like one of my big specialty areas, so one of my big areas of work was, or is, I guess. I haven't done a ton of it in a while, but I have taught it quite a bit. Is molecular biology, and a big part of what you deal with in there is DNA. Let's see where this goes here. This is clean. Can I? Wrong side. One of the reasons that, you know, you tend to use bleach and cleaning in general. Oh, relaxation
Welcome
zone.
to Miko Spa and Wellness, place which you never want to leave.
Actually, I don't think we want to be here, right? As I was saying, one of the big things with using bleach is, of course, dealing with anything that's pathogenic. And blood is a big concern for that. But also, you know, we're trying to cover up evidence here, right? So, DNA. That's one of the things I think I'll try to touch on a little bit as we get into this, for those who might be interested in how that works. And feel free to, you know, drop intel or questions in the comments if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
Right into the bucket.
Yeah, that stuff is a big area of interest for me, and I have worked with it. I've never used it specifically for forensic purposes, but I have taught like forensics related stuff from it.
I'll have to search the lockers for evidence as well.
M025. Can I? Oh, this room's kind of dark. How about those lamps? We were... Curiosity. M025. Cool. Can I...
Apparently, criminal savoir-vivre does not allow taking weapons to the sauna.
Sauna. It's sauna. It's a Finnish word, and for some reason in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, they actually pronounce it incorrectly in the English version. I don't know why. My background, I'm Finnish American. A lot of my ancestors came from Finland. There's actually a more proper way to say it, but sauna is the closest you're probably going to get. Probably the closest I'm going to get to. So say it with me. Not sauna, Sow-Nuh. Sow. And I live in a place where it's like, yeah, you don't want to say that because people will really come at you for that one.
Keeping up with those pasta-eating Mama Mias make me sick. But as I've been shopping, taking out Big Jim, I got connections with his cousin Mike from the old school days. I'm gonna sweet talk him into slipping some poison into Jim's family dinner. Your job? Make sure no funny business happens during our meeting.
They had a well thought out plan. Mike and Rick could execute well, but got executed instead.
Interesting. Sometimes you need to hack control panels to open certain doors. Clicking on them will start a hacking minigame. A set of digits will appear on your screen. The number at the bottom is a key you will need to follow to hack into the system. By clicking on the digits above at the correct moment, that is when a moving line gets onto the desired digits field. I'll remember that for later. Let's work on this room still. Actually, no, we could do this now because I think this is going to be for the pool, right? Okay, so maybe we should just do this. How does this work?
Take it easy, Kowalski. Fuck me. Shit.
What am I supposed to...
Piece of shit. Screw this.
Oh, two.
Shit.
Wait.
Fuck me.
What?
Damn.
Where's the first?
Take it easy, Kowalski.
I don't get it.
Damn. Stupid machine.
I really don't get it.
Fuck.
Oh. Okay, I get it now. Never mind. You have to move to where it... It's not gonna work.
Take it easy, Kowalski.
Okay, now that I kind of know what I'm doing.
Shit.
Okay, I got it. That was on me.
I'm in.
Alright. Is there... Can I... No, it's not gonna let me. How many of those lights do I have? Do I need to do anything with the computer?
V.I.P. access denied.
Probably gotta drain the pool. Probably put some of this stuff to use, right? So red to green. And then, wait. Something about lowering the water. No, it's not letting me use it. Wait. Oh, I just had to hit it. Okay. Switch it to green to drain it, and then fill it back up. Got it. Okay. Alright. My bad. Let's get this main room done first. yeah, I forgot I have the pressure washer. Let's try it. I think you need to fill those up, right? Oh, it's already got water in it. Never mind. Never mind. So I could use this. I think it does. Okay. And I'm gonna... Oh, not that one. This one. Let's get you out of the way. I'm leaving tracks. Great. Oh. Doesn't look like it's clean. No, it wasn't. Okay. Alright, let's try this bad boy out. I'm assuming this would be nice for like reaching higher spots, but this is also going to be a lot more like dangerous towards breaking things, I imagine. Oh, that one. Is there a way I can just like auto switch to it without having to go back to it? Probably not, right? Oh, I have to bring it with me. Oop. Almost empty anyway. I'm fine with the mod, to be honest. I don't like her. This doesn't really seem to be speeding it up or anything. We'll switch back and forth as necessary, I guess. It's kind of like having an additional cleaner with us, right? Okay, and get my own tracks in there while I'm at it. Wait, what is that? I don't know what that is. Like on something, or how'd this get over here? Did I just break that? Are you trash now? Oh, maybe it was trash just to begin. Oh my god, I'm still tracking around blood. Okay, stop. Okay, first chance we get, that's the first upgrade we're gonna be going for. We don't want to be leaving traces of blood behind, like beyond what we're already like dealing with. This stuff's already broken, right? Which honestly, I'd suggest getting to just getting that stuff first anyway, but... keep it going. I should probably use the sponge on this. Right.
Need to empty the trash can first.
Oh, rifle up. Can I go through here now? Oh, we gotta clean it first. Well, while I'm thinking about it, because I'm gonna forget otherwise. Alright. Can I open you? So do you go into the big bag or on the side? Okay. All right. Let's get you filled up. I'm buzzing around. So can I just put you in here? Yep. That's pretty nifty. All right. Make sure we get everything good here. Not to add to the mess while we're at it. Okay. I was saying earlier about how, you know, one of the main reasons to use bleach is, of course, pathogens. Anybody that's done any work with, you know, blood knows about bloodborne pathogens training. It's a pretty widespread thing you have to do, so. Like I said, the other thing is going to, of course, be leaving evidence behind. And I would say DNA evidence isn't as quite as easy to find as they make it appear in the movies, in shows. Probably shows more than movies. But at the same time, it's also like one of those things where it's not like it's not easy to find. Kind of a... what's the word for it? Almost like an oxymoron in a way. I don't think that's quite what I'm trying to convey, but... yeah, let's wipe carefully here, since this was just a bunch of crap getting in our way. Oh, buddy. Oh my god, stop. Those are my tracks. You know, leaving DNA behind It's real easy
Someone was feeling stabby today.
it's real easy to leave DNA behind wherever you go, but it's not always easy to find it. The thing is, you can make a lot of DNA if you know where to find it. When I say make, is you can essentially, if you get like a DNA sample, all you have to do is a process called PCR, and you can make a lot of duplicates of it. So a little sample, as long as it's got like one fragment of DNA in it, you can make copies of that fragment. I don't know if there's any blood around here. It must be broken. So if there's dried blood, for instance, you just want to rehydrate the blood, and you could make, copies of that blood to experiment with, essentially. Or in the case of like a crime scene investigation, or doing like a paternity test or something like that.
Huge guy. Probably a bodyguard. Swiss cheesed with a sharp object.
Yeah, he was stabbed by the ice pick or whatever that was. I wonder how far I can throw this. Heyo!
Relaxed, not knowing someone is about to stab him. Peaceful death. To some extent.
Okay, this is gonna be a little tricky. I'm gonna have to walk in here. Looks like I could probably just power wash and mop a lot of this. So, anyways, as I was saying, you can, make a lot of DNA from a small sample. That's the one thing that we can do that's really nice. With PCR, you can pretty much make as much DNA as you want, as long as you have the reagents to do it. And you don't need a lot to do PCR. You do need kind of an objective in mind, though. What do you want to check it for? And if it's a crime scene investigation like this, like what they would do if they picked up on what we're doing, you're looking at probably an STR analysis. It's kind of like the go-to for identifying a person. And there's a STR analysis is kind of like the go-to for, you can do like familial matches, you can do direct matches. You're essentially comparing DNA. Comparing DNA to like either a known sample of DNA, or comparing it to like what would you call it? Like a database, something like that, like the CODIS database, for instance. That's essentially what you're gonna do. And STR analysis is pretty common. Essentially what they're doing is they're looking for DNA markers that we all have. And they're looking for, at different, like, let's say, there's a common marker that any of us might have. They're going to use PCR to find those markers, essentially. And there are going to be standards they can use to check for them. And you might have the marker, you might not have the marker, depending on what they're looking for. Typically, if the marker exists, I don't know if there's any that we just wouldn't have at all. A lot of the analysis is done using what I would say is probably too few markers. I'm gonna get the power washer for this. But essentially, they're gonna look for, like, let's say if they're looking for one marker, you might not have that marker. You might have two variations of that marker, or one variation of that marker. And they're going to look at several of them, not just one marker, because there's a good chance that anybody watching here could have some of the same markers as me, for instance. But you look at enough of them that we're looking for like a, we're looking for a pretty strong match on the markers. And, the markers aren't going to go missing unless the sample just isn't your sample, isn't the same as yours. And the markers they look for, they're called STRs. So that's why we call it STR analysis. That stands for short tandem repeats. And it's essentially DNA that we all have. But like I said, the markers will vary a little bit from person to person. So you might be missing one marker where somebody else has it. You might have a different variation of that marker that somebody else, than somebody else has. And the STRs essentially, like I said, short tandem repeats. They're basically just short repeat sequences of DNA that we all have, and they repeat in tandem. So if you're familiar with the concept of like the ATCG in DNA, if you're familiar with that concept of how the ATCG component of DNA works, you're essentially looking at having repeats of, CAG, CAG over and over again. And when you look at a marker for that, maybe you have CAG repeating 10 times back to back. It's a short tandem repeat. But maybe somebody else's marker for that is, 15 times repeated. Or maybe they have two different repeats. You can get that from having two different parents, for instance. You can get two of the same repeats. You can get two short, two long. You can get mixed matches of them. Let's use the wall. Try and get all the high stuff. Ooh. Too far away, okay. Well, we can do inside the pool first. Okay, I think I'll call it good for that for now. Oh, evidence.
Probably slipped out of the hands of a clumsy criminal.
So we have a 1911 style and kind of a Beretta style.
Another one.
Ooh. M017. Go check that one out really quick. Let's fill the thing too. Nope. I don't want to forget that number. Okay.
Hey, yo. This is my demo song for Rockefeller Records. And, hey, here we go. Hey, yo, I'm the shit. Rick better sign me quick. I'ma find Big Jim and end him with a rice and ice cold since the day one. No man block, the prodigal son. I'ma do it with your mom. What? The fuck you want from my mom? Wait, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, man. Don't hit me.
What would the kids nowadays say? Not making it out of the hood with this one.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know what that was. Probably money. All right. That was good. I like that one. So, sorry, as I was saying, so when we do the STR analysis, like I said, you're looking for you're essentially looking at enough STR markers to build a profile for someone. And I don't remember the exact number they use. It's somewhere between like 13 and 16, I want to say. And like I said, this is like what you would do with the CODIS database if you had a blood sample. And as I said, you can use it for familial matches, so you can see if you're related to somebody. Your STR markers won't be identical, but you'll have a lot of matches, across two parents, essentially. So you can use it for the familial purpose in that sense. I'm making damage and stuff here. There for now. But in addition to like familial matches, you can also compare against, of course, known criminals. If you have a known suspect, you can, see if it matches to them. If there's somebody in the database, like I said, known criminals that are in the database might be a good check. There's a lot you can do with it. It's like usually you're going to do it based on what you have and what you need to know. Let's see, let's go a little later here. I want to break more stuff. And so if you have a sample and you think somebody's a match for it, you can check it, and if they are a match, the STR analysis would line up with that person. Like I said, if you're looking for a familial match, it's not going to line up perfectly. But there'll be enough markers that you can tell it's not a fluke. That's
new.
That's that the person's related. I'm pretty sure I broke those. I think I broke a few things here. Anything else that I broke? What are you? Okay. Where did you go? Not quite sure.
Can't pick up anything with a full bag.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Like I said, if you, like, in this case, if you had a crime scene, you would want to, you would take take a blood sample, for instance, or whatever else you might find that could be used for STR analysis. You would probably have to do something to rehydrate it and get the DNA out of it, and mix it into like a PCR mix. Process doesn't take that long to run if you're just doing a kind of general PCR, but I'm not sure how long the typical run would be for doing like the typical, what do you call it? The version that they would do for for cases like what we're into. Am I dragging that around? Oh, that's the duck. That keeps throwing me off. I want to check. I like the way it shows up like it's a black light over it. UV light. Not sure if that's all the way done or not.
Like no one was ever here.
This is probably gonna go either here. With this. This is another room that I'd like to do because we've already started kind of working on it. Yeah. I think we got just about everything in here. Should I refill the pool? Probably. Yeah. Okay, let's check out this room. Well, we get a body, so...
One slice to the throat did the trick. Pretty quick death, given the circumstances.
Five bodies, eh? How are those showing up? Cool. Well... cool after a fashion, I guess.
What the actual fuck? I've seen people slicing pizza with this.
Yeah, this reminds me of Killing Eve. I think it was season 4 where a pizza cutter gets used to cut someone's throat. Pretty disturbing. It was a disturbing scene to watch. Okay. Let's get this, I guess. Oh. Not sure what this is. It's just like a... I don't really know. Wonder if I can get in here. Yeah, this would be nice to have access to. Let me steal that. Yeah. Ooh, is that Japanese toilet? I've been watching too much South Park, sorry. Ooh. This was locked. He said I have as much time as I want, so there's no need to rush this, right? Yeah, I don't see anything in there of import. Yeah. Alright. I wanted to get in there so we could do the water. But yeah, sorry for the biology lesson, but I can't turn it off. It's kind of cool the way they do the new age SDR analyses too. So if you want to hear the full rundown on that, or if you're curious in learning about it, I can give a quick breakdown on it. Oop, don't want to drop it. Is that blood? No. I feel like I'm out. Crap. We got this one. Nice, okay.
Why did they even bother locking them?
M005, yeah. Let's check those out before I forget. I don't know which side that's going to be on. Other side. There we go.
Mateo's Pizza? I'll order one with pineapple for me and Dexter.
I like pineapple a lot. Okay. Is there anything in here? Drugs. Wonder if I could like break these open or something. You know, we were talking about, or in the previous episode, I found out there were like hidden things we could find. I was kind of wondering if the window that wouldn't quite open, if there's a way to break it. Just, I don't feel like we really use the punch mechanic much. Granted, we just started, so that might change, but I was wondering if that's like a way to use that mechanic. I don't know if we can break these. Just in case we can. Treat them delicately. Those are just my thoughts before we move forward, that I thought maybe there's a way, or maybe that's a way of finding secrets. Okay, power washer. So I was saying on the idea of the SCR analysis, how that works is traditionally, if you're familiar with how we do molecular biology, you use the PCR to make copies of the DNA, and then typically a lot of times what we'll do is find ways to analyze them, and one of the common ways is using gel electrophoresis. So it's basically where you put the sample into a water kind of based solution, a buffer, and you prep the sample so that your DNA sample sinks into these little wells within a gel substance. We call it, usually we go with agarose gel electrophoresis.
So much blood, I'm seeing red now.
Nope. Oop. That was kind of awesome. Get that punch mechanic in there, right? So we use a process called agarose gel electrophoresis. So you make a gel substance, like literally like Jello, out of agarose, which is a polysaccharide found in algae. You put it into a solution. You add your sample into the gel in little wells, And you want to separate the sample in the gel using like an electrical current essentially. And it separates the sample based on size. And so, like, let's say you've done your STR targeting process, you know, through PCR already. You would use the gel to separate it. And it would separate your fragments out based on their size. Then you can identify the STR patterns based on that, because they're done by size. So you would just compare it against standards or something like that. It's kind of an old way of doing it. The new way is something called capillary gel electrophoresis, where instead of having to kind of do all of that stuff more manually, so to speak, you have a way to kind of let's do this one first. You have a way, basically the machine kind of does it for you. So it separates the sample out. And then you just have to look at the markers. Just makes it a little easier. It's a newer way of doing it. And I think that's typically what they would use in cases like this in reality. And so in the end, am I tracking that? So in the end, you would just have basically a little readout with sample peaks, and you can say how many markers were essentially identified in the sample. That's typically what you would do, you know, as the person having those markers. And it doesn't mean anything other than that sample came from a particular person. So it doesn't mean the person was the criminal who did it. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything without context. Okay, another body, some bullet shells.
Remember not to stay in the sauna for too long, as it may cause sleep disturbances or negatively affect your well-being.
Sow-Nuh. Sow-Nuh.
The NB letters on his tattoo could stand for Norman Bates. Or Nomad Block, the notorious street gang.
Nomad
Either
Block.
way, he shouldn't have gotten in Jim's way.
Yeah, Norman Bates. The quote-unquote serial killer. Bates Motel was a really good rendition of that story. That's an Alfred Hitchcock story. Okay, so let's clean up this room. Yeah, so if you were doing like a crime scene analysis... Ooh, supermassive black hole? What's that for? Must be for garbage. Oh, there's 2 bodies in here. But so if you were doing that analysis, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but if they find your blood at a crime scene, they're gonna want to ask you some questions, you know, to confirm you were there. And there are cases where you could get sample matches that were not accurate. That's why I said they're gonna tell you how many markers matched. That's gonna be a part of the analysis. But it's like, it's not a sign. It's not like directly saying, oh, this person committed the crime. It's like, no, they were there when the crime happened. You're going to need a little bit more to go on. But in a lot of cases, they want DNA because people have been wrongly accused of things in the past. You know, talked into confessions that weren't real. And so a lot of times they want DNA as a confirmation. There are a couple interesting things that can come from that, though. There are ways to manufacture fake blood samples. And if the lab is only checking for STR markers, they're not going to see that. They're just going to look for those markers. So all you have to do is make those markers so they match. And if you have a person's blood sample, you could set them up for that. I mean, granted, you gotta know what you're doing, but it's not gonna be easy by any means. In fact, there was a show I watched where that was kind of the basis of, you know, a guy got blamed for something that he didn't do. He was set up on purpose. I mean, in fact, that came from the show Elementary. If you haven't seen it, check it out. They do really good on like modern science type stuff. And I always watch it because the biology stuff was always really well done. Let's see. Yeah. Let's empty this out and then we'll go use that card. I think it was called option number 2 or something like that. Because they couldn't figure out why things were working, why the blood sample matched, but the guy didn't really fit the profile. They weren't really buying it. I think that was season 1 or 2. It was an early episode. I want to say it had to have been season 1, but really good show, Elementary. It's Sherlock Holmes kind of in New York City, more modern day.
Dead at close range. This must be Mike, the owner of this place.
Former owner of this place. I knew he always wanted to get at me. But he crossed the line by getting in contact with the other gangs. And nobody ever crosses Big Jim.
Hey, at least it's more work for me.
That's the spirit.
Okay, let's finish up using the power washer. But yeah, Johnny Lee Miller plays Sherlock in it, and it's, like I said, modern day Sherlock Holmes in New York City, and then Lucy Liu plays Watson. One of my favorite shows, mostly, like I said, 'cause they really do well in the science, but they also have a good narrative to the show. Let's refill everything. This room's it's kind of a big room full of blood, so. And if you can fit this with like detergents, if that would be worthwhile to do. But they came up with some pretty cool stories, and that's why I like that kind of stuff, because of course that's my background area. I'm sorry if this is like really boring, but but you know, it's kind of a relaxed game, so I feel like I can talk, right? Oh. I have to switch. Really high up areas. So doing a job like this, that's where I would, like, if I were doing something like this, which I would never do, that's the thing I would be concerned about, is leaving behind my own DNA. But you would want to dress for that occasion, or have a good reason for you having to be there. Like if you worked at the place or something, that's one thing, but you know, you want to have a good reason for being there. Could probably do mop for the rest of this. It's pretty low. I didn't knock that over, did I? And that again goes back to like why you'd want to use bleach for stuff like this, because bleach is really good about getting rid of basically any kind of biologically relevant molecules, all your macromolecules, your proteins, fats, nucleic acids like your DNA. You know, it'll pretty much get rid of everything. And let's see. want that refilled for this. Take this out of the room because we're gonna probably be moving over to this purple room. And we'll use the power washer to clean the remnant too. Cool. Don't forget to use that tag. The relaxing music, and we're just like finding bodies and stuff all over. I think we got everything.
Our solarium guarantees a very even tan
Oh.
all over the body. Please enjoy it to the fullest.
Oh, that's just
More
bad.
like a very balanced barbecue experience all over the body.
Use that card, right? M014. These are all W. M is for male, I'm guessing. Or no, men, women. Sorry. That's probably what it means, I'm assuming.
I'm taking this home.
I want you. Oh, I want to turn it off. I want to take it with me. As I say, I don't know if that's going to help at all, but I'm bored out of my mind. Probably been here for an hour. Just 10 more minutes, baby. I'll make it up to you. Buy me a jacuzzi like the one you have here. When we take Jim out, we can sell this whole business and go fuck each other's brains out in Malibu. Pardon my English accent.
She was Mike's wife, apparently. They were planning a coup, but Jim outsmarted him.
W24. That's gotta smell really bad. Oh. 42. 24. What is that? More drugs. M34, so whoever she is, she had access to somebody's stuff. Why is it telling me to equip? Oh, I have a UV lamp. So this one.
You know, I'm something of a VIP myself.
Yeah, there was a door we couldn't open, right? Where was it? Mess will always be somewhere.
I should clean it first.
His statue. Alright. Let's get this. This would be awful.
That's what I call a gruesome death. The pursuit of beauty can be fatal.
Don't use those things. You are just blasting yourself with UV light. And I know it gives you a nice tan, but it also damages your DNA and proteins. In some cases, irrevocably.
Sorry
Isn't that
for
right?
what happened, ma'am. We don't think about it daily, but the human body is such a soft machine.
Yeah, it can be. As I was saying, UV damage is really nasty. Not something you want to deal with. Can I turn this thing off? You shouldn't be staring at it either. We use UV light a lot in my realm of work. Oh, better than this. I'll put this back in here. For now. VIP must have been that room, right? Over here. The cleaning pattern on this is a little odd. Let's go up a little high. Yeah, so UV light, when it hits your DNA, one of the most common things it does is it creates what we call a thymine dimer. So one of the DNA bases, thymine, or T, like I said, if you know your TACG pattern, it essentially sticks to other thymines that are nearby on the same part of the DNA strand. So kind of imagine if you had like a ladder, because DNA is often compared to a ladder, and two of the rungs, instead of forming crosses over to the other pole, just didn't exist, and instead formed a cross link between each other. So two of your rungs are, two of the steps on your ladder are essentially just missing. That's kind of like what it's doing. I put you away. Alright. So, what's that? Oh, I wonder if that's it. Pretend I didn't do that. This looks kind of messy here. I bet that's it. Yeah, let's see, that's it.
That's a piece of work.
It's not quite clean, per se. Oh, wait, it went away. Okay, well. The problem with the thymine dimers when I was talking about the DNA is you have to, like, your DNA can't be used if it has those regions that have it can't be used. You essentially have to repair them or face the consequences of whatever has the damage to it. So you have to repair basically those regions of DNA. And while our DNA repair mechanisms are very efficient, I would say, if you ask me, they also can very potentially lead to other DNA damage, which is problematic. So yeah, don't sit under UV light. I got some stories about that stuff, what it can do to you. If you're interested in those stories, let me know. Okay. What about these? Oh. Hmm. Oh, there you are.
V.I.P. access granted.
Gold on the ceiling.
Yeah, thanks.
Does that mean I can get into anything I want? Like those... That's... It's not something people should have, right? Oh, it totally does. W42... W42... Drugs and money. So what about you? W18. Oh, there's another one. Money. Well. Ooh, missed that earlier. Not paying close enough attention, I guess. Oh. It wasn't just the... Okay. Holy crap. That's probably worth a bit. I didn't see what the number was that popped up. 300. So this is one of the secrets.
I'm sure Big Jim won't mind me taking it.
I'll consider it as your tip for the night.
Okay with that. W18, that's the last one, okay. I think we'll leave it there.
It might be worth something.
Everything I touch turns to gold, then to coal, then to rust, then to dust. I'm not quite how that works, but okay. think we're good. Big store. Trial by blood complete. Nice haul. Okay. Ooh, stuff notes. Okay, so there are probably a couple. I'm assuming that means there are 2 secrets that I missed, but nice. Or does that mean I found the secrets? I'll have to look into that once we get to the end. I don't know. Relax, take it easy. Trial by blood.
Mr. Kowalski, congratulations. You're hired. Just stick with me and nothing bad will happen to you. Is that clear? Anyway, gotta hang up. Ladies don't like waiting. Call you soon.
So, I'm hired by the mob. Organized crime, here I come.
Okay, so it is the mob. They did kind of go with the stereotypes. They were implying that he was Italian. Sure, I looked at that. We will go to bed, but I want to see if there's anything with... Aw.
Who's a good boy? Who's not working for a mob?
I love that. Who's not working for the mob? Okay. Oh, shoot. What's this? I'll tilt this up so we can see it. Dear Mr. Kowalski, I hope this message finds you well. I hate when people write and say that. That is so unnatural. Like, just come out and say what you're gonna say. Don't you do that to me. I'm writing to provide an update on your daughter Alina's health status following her recent medical examinations. Alina has undergone a comprehensive set of tests, and the results indicate that her condition requires immediate and sustained medical attention. To facilitate her recovery, it is crucial that she undergoes an extended treatment program at a specialized facility. This program will be both long-term and intensive, ensuring that she receives the best possible care. However, I must inform you that this treatment will be costly due to the advanced medical procedures and the prolonged stay required in the healthcare facility. Best regards, Dr. Hugo Stevens. I would really like to know what the daughter has. And I'll try to keep the science discussions less boring than how this one probably was for everybody. But if you like, hearing that stuff, let me know. I like talking science. Okay. And that is I think that's going to be the end of this episode. Our player character, I don't know what his first name is, I can't remember offhand, but Kowalski is now working for the mob. So he's moving up in the world, I guess, payment-wise, or hopefully will be. But also, this is... I don't know if he's going to continue his janitorial work, but if he does, I mean, this could be a really nice boost in funds for him, but this is also really dangerous at this point, so I kind of worry for him in that sense. And like I said, I'm really curious to know what's wrong with his daughter, what she has. I'm hoping we'll figure that out. I've only seen, reminder, I've only seen through chapter 3 and the very, very, like, opening of, like, chapter 4. I don't even know if these go in chapters. I'm just saying that because, like, I know the crime scenes, but up to, I don't even remember the next crime scene. I don't remember what the next one is. I remember this one and the one before it. That's it. So we'll see when we get on to the next one. So with that being said, I think this is where we'll close things out. Let me know in the comments what you think. I think this is still fun for me. It's relaxing and interesting at the same time. So with that being said, thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.